Party people in the place to be. What's going on? It's me. It's me. It's Sunday once again. Long overdue movie reviews once again. Continuing with the tradition of the last one that you should have just watched. Long overdue movie of Harold and Kumar go to White Castle. Now it's Harold and Kumar escape from Guantanamo Bay. I've never been to Guantanamo Bay. I've not heard nice things about it. This one, I'll go ahead out on a limb and say I liked better than the first one. Actually, I liked more of the story structure. It didn't seem like there was as much padding in this one. I liked the performances that we got along the way from pretty much everybody involved in it. It was pretty funny along the way. Again, there were no super duper laugh out loud moments, but I enjoyed this one a bit better than the other one. Actually, the particularly Cal Penn's performance I thought was pretty good in this one. I thought Harold being the wet blanket was gonna be overdone. Like just to it's like how well they're gonna just rehash a lot of that from the first movie, but they don't, like, not a whole lot of it. Like it's kind of there in the beginning, but that's kind of where it's supposed to be. But everything else you agree with him on pretty much throughout the rest of this movie. So yeah, his performance and the directing of him was pretty good. Like I mentioned, I think the writing here was a little bit stronger. I think the budget on this one clearly probably had a lot more money attached to it. You could see that in camera work and angles and direction, and you could see the increase in budget that they got for this one. So you could see them. It helped in this case. It didn't like tear down what the original had. It actually, they built on some of the best parts of the original one. So okay, pretty solid on that one. Go ahead and skip to the time mark that you're gonna see when I get this thing done, as I take the customary sip before we dip over into spoilers for a 13-year-old movie. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Okay. Harold and Kumar escape from Guantanamo Bay. Um, is I think is better. I think it's better than Harold and Kumar in the original. This one basically takes place. It basically picks right up from the last one, where they give the teaser. Oh, why don't we go to Amsterdam and meet her there? And they're like, oh, okay. Well, they're actually going to Amsterdam to meet her there. On the way in the airport, they run into Kumar's ex-girlfriend, who's conveniently about to get married to typical stand-in douchebag guy who we're just supposed to hate just because he's not our protagonist, right? That guy. Although, and the script will bear out later that he is in fact an asshole. Yada yada yada. Blah blah blah. Um, so we get this random romance sort of thing with Kumar and the super hot ass redhead, whoever she is. She has been in more shit than Shame on Hollywood. Um, but but they're still on their way to Amsterdam, and he finds out that they're going to Texas or whatever. And so they get on the plane, and Kumar bullshits his way past TSA, saying that, because he gets stopped. He's like, "How dare you stop me? Racism, racism!" And then gets on the plane with the exact reason why they stopped him, which was a device to smoke weed, which is a bong. And he keeps saying bong and bomb on the plane, and they're confusion. Arab looking guy with the bong like device to try to keep air in and all this other shit. Of course, they go to Guantanamo Bay. Enter Rob Corddry, and he's hilarious. Enter Rob Corddry, and he is fan freaking tastic in this role. Like, he hits right where he should, right in that pocket. That's a good little pocket for him, and he nails it. Every single thing he does in that movie, he nails it. He's the more laugh out loud moments, more than anything else, because he plays his role perfectly. Um, Anyway, they end up in Gitmo. They're about to have to uh, perform dual fellatio on this giant prison guard's giant cock. Something, something, something. The other cellmates who are about to do the same thing, they bite the cop's dick and plan an escape, and everybody escapes. And it's the whole story of them trying to escape and get to Texas, where Kumar's ex is going to get married to the guy, the douchebag guy, but he works in politics with President Bush, so he's gonna help get them off. And that's them. That's the whole reason why Harold's trying to get to Texas. Kumar's trying to get there to stop the wedding. They get to Texas. Turns out the douchebag boyfriend is a douchebag, and he sets the whole thing up for them to get recaptured, so that they don't ruin his wedding. Surprise, surprise, they ruin his wedding anyway. With George W. Bush supplying them with the way to get there and a full-on pardon. And Kumar breaks up the wedding, pulls a Dwayne Wayne, breaks up the wedding, kisses the bride. They don't actually get married right then and there, but kisses the bride and whisks them away. And they are going to Amsterdam first to try to get Harold's girlfriend, who isn't quite his girlfriend. They met on the elevator literally like the week before, but and she said she's going to Amsterdam for 10 days. So rather than wait the 10 days like a normal person might or should, he goes there, and surprise, surprise, that scene is romantic and not as creepy or stalkery or as anything, to be afraid of this guy that flies all the way, who you don't know at all, who like you just met that day, like not even a guy you've been in a relationship with. You just met him that day. He doesn't even know your last name. Okay. Fantabulous. Fantabulous. That. Oh, that's so terrible. That's so fucking terrible. That shit drew me right out of the fucking man. I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ. Jesus fucking shit like that. Shit like that has gotten a whole lot of people in a whole lot of trouble over the years. Motherfucker. Anyway, other than that, the movie itself is like I mentioned. The movie itself is good. I like this better than I did the other one. I had bigger laughs in this one and more of them than I did in the first one. Followed the story, like the chemistry between Harold and Kumar, like Rob Corddry's time on the screen. They took the time to build stakes, like even in this stupid world where they're escaping and getting into Guantanamo Bay and all this other shit. Like they to build the stakes at least of the relationship with Kumar and the redhead as much as you can in a movie like this, and building on the friendship of Harold and Kumar most of the time. Of course, they have their 2.5, 3 act breakup or whatever the fuck after one gets just pissed off enough that this is the end of all that. Oh, Christopher Maloney is in this one again, playing another backwoods character. This time he's a Klansman, and usual fare, but for some reason done better. Neil Patrick Harris is in this again. Again, still don't buy him as this womanizer character, but I again this weird nebulous, you don't really know what's happening with him guy. I could see that. Yeah, that part of it, I definitely can get in a movie like this, and it works, and he pulls it off. Even in the end credits, when because they get him at a whorehouse and he gets shot in the back a couple of times on the front lawn of the whorehouse. They didn't move him; they just left him there apparently because he wakes up the next day, damn near like the Terminator. And that was even funny. I didn't even intend to stay until the end of the end credits. I was just cleaning the fuck up after it was on, and there it was. So that was cool. Like I said, I like the dialogue. I like the jokes in this one a little bit better. I liked everything in this one a little bit better. Just a skosh better, which is why Harold and Kumar escape from Guantanamo Bay. Unlike the predecessor, Harold and Kumar go to White Castle. Gitmo, I think, gets a solid. I think it gets a solid I think it gets a solid 1275 there. I think it gets a solid 1275. I almost want to give it. I don't quite want to give it 13. I don't quite want to give it 13. It's not quite that good. It's definitely an improvement from the other one. There's a third one. I may or may not watch that one. I'm not sure, but I can definitely see the progress in the movie, and I like the progress in the movie. And if it was if it was on, I wouldn't be like, turn that shit off. I'd probably sit and watch it again. So almost not quite. It's not quite like the classic though. That's up there. It's not like something like I'm just gonna throw on immediately when I get high. But pretty good, pretty good. Party people, I know I'm right. You know I'm right. Tell me how right you think I am down there in the comments section. Like, share, subscribe. Every Thursday, me and the homie Trey, we do this little thing called a podcast. It's the How Do We Even Get Here podcast. All the links are down there in the description. All you got to do is go down there, like some shit, share some shit, and help keep the How Do We Even Get Here train rolling. In the meantime, the in between time, cheers.
I'm a nice guy, I'm a nice place with a nice smile on my nice face. Turn your back and I'm making sure my night's straight. And when you're out of town, I'll be making sure your wife's straight.